Hey guys, welcome back to Jurassic Collectibles. I hope you're all doing really well. Got something really unique and interesting to share with you today, and it's this Jurassic Park, the intermediate novelization by MacMillan readers. I think this one kind of slipped under the net of Jurassic Park fans, made aware of it through Jack Anthony Ewins of Pterodome 3000 and Dinosaur Protection Group fame. And we were talking about Jurassic Park, the original novel, and through an online search he came across a PDF version of this book. So I think you can find it printed freely online if you want to go and have a look at it. What's interesting about this one is it's a splicing of the Jurassic Park novel by Michael Crichton and the film version of events. So it's kind of like a weird hybrid, if you will, of the book and the film. We had the junior novelization, which was for youngsters, and essentially just told you the story of the film. Inside, it's got some nice glossy photographs. In the middle, I have done a review of this one on the channel, link is down below if you want to see that one, and this is the 25th anniversary edition. There was a version published in 1993, but this intermediate version is obviously intended maybe for teenagers and goes a little bit more into the novel story. The novel story is the backbone of this one. Okay, so let's get stuck in, shall we? It's obviously intended as an educational piece. As you can see here, it says intermediate level. You need to know about 1600 basic words. We've got the chapter listings here. It follows the story of the novel, as I said, but you'll see how the film elements creep in to this book. So here we have a character list. What's interesting about this is we've got Dr. Alan Grant, Ellie, Malcolm, and then we've got characters like Bob Morris, who's in the novel, and Ed Regis, who's only in the novel. And yet all the characters are stylized like we see them in the film. Dennis Nedra'S got his little Hawaiian shirt, and you can see Grant's got his trademark hat, but no beard, because in the book he actually has a beard. Here we have Robert Muldoon as we see him in the film, Henry Wu as we see him in the film, Dr. Harding pretty much as we see him in the film, and then we've got Tim and Lex. And look at Tim. Tim's older, because in the novel he is an older character, and yet Lex is wearing her costume from the film. So it's this strange hybrid of the novel and the film. So the book starts at Alan Grant's dig site, and you can see here he is, and here's Bob Morris approaching him in this very nice illustration, a strange hybrid of the film and the novel. Very, very cool. He's wearing the same costume that he wears in the film, but these are the events of the novel taking place. Here you can see a nice illustration of the guest travelling to the island. It says here, "I've heard that you have a serious problem on your island," said Malcolm. And that's what Malcolm says in the book. Here we see Grant and co arriving at Jurassic Park, and Alan Grant has spotted the curved neck of a tall dinosaur, and this is exactly how it takes place in the novel. But what's interesting is everyone is wearing the costumes as we see them in Jurassic Park, the film. The book tries to retain as much of the computer readouts and scientific graphs as possible, so that's an interesting part that is kept from the original novel. Here we see Tim and Lex petting the baby velociraptor as seen in the original Crichton novel, and you can see here that Timmy is looking much older than Lex. Here's Ray Arnold, or John Arnold in this book, showing computer readouts to Malcolm, Ellie and Grant, just as they do in the book, in the control room. And I believe the control room is a chapter title in the original novel. Here's some more graphs. We've got the height distribution of compsognathids, I believe that's from the book. And here we have the tally chart of the various species on the island. Here we have the discovery of the sick Stegosaurus, not Triceratops, as it is in the original novel. And it says here, "These are pieces of shell from a dinosaur egg," said Grant. "The dinosaurs are breeding." Can you imagine if he discovered this part of the story this early on in the film narrative? It's quite interesting to see this mix of the film's characters and the novel scenarios. So here we have Nedra'S violent death in illustration form, and you can see that the Dilophosaurus is large as it is in the novel. They made the Dilophosaurus much smaller to kind of make it inconspicuous in the film, and you can see here it says Nedra felt something hit his chest. The dinosaur had spat at him. This part of the novel where Nedra dies for me is really horrific, and it kind of stayed with me when I read the novel as a child, and I'm interested to see how far they take it here. They talk about the spit on his chest. It says that he felt a terrible pain in his eyes. Pain was so bad that Nedra fell to the ground. He couldn't move. He could feel the ground shaking as the dinosaur came towards him, and his last hope was that this would end soon. It did. So they don't really go into detail about his death, and in the actual novel it's much more gory than this. So here we have the famous main road attack with the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and you can see that the Tyrannosaurus Rex is much more traditional looking in its design, sort of pre-1993 design, pre-Jurassic Park. And you can see here it says now the Tyrannosaur was standing on the road between the two vehicles. Could have based the T-Rex on the design in Jurassic Park, but they opted not to. Here they are at the sauropod maintenance building as they are in the novel, and you can see here clearly that Lex is much shorter than Timmy, and they're petting here the baby Triceratops, which I believe happens in the novel as well. Then we've got the river raft sequence with Alan, Lex and Tim going down the road being ambushed by the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Then we've got the Tyrannosaurus Rex reaching into the cave with its tongue through the waterfall, which was again used in the Lost World film, but you can see how traditional they've gone on the T-Rex. It has an oversized head, but the design is much more sort of pre-90s. And here's a pretty unique scene from the novel. You've got Muldoon firing a rocket launcher at the raptors. And just look at those long-necked raptors there in the background. And you've got John Arnold here. And I believe, is that Hammond? Or is that supposed to be Gennaro? But yeah, pretty cool picture, very unique. Then we've got Grant rolling the eggs towards the velociraptors. As you can see again, here's their unique design with their longer necks. Obviously this was used in Jurassic Park 3 when they were giving the eggs back to the velociraptors, so it's interesting to see it here. They've styled the lab here like the stainless steel kitchen from the movie, so it's an interesting mixture of the two. Here we've got the main characters leaving in the Jeep to follow the raptor to see where it's going. It says the little raptor ran along paths and among the trees. And here we have the famous scene from the novel when the raptors are standing along the shore waiting to get on a boat to get to the mainland. Look at the back, we have points for understanding, so questions that can be set almost as tasks for children to complete after reading the book. Then we have a dinosaur guide, which actually shows you some clear illustrations of the dinosaurs featured in this book. Then at the back you have a glossary. 30. Sort out bugs in the computer system. Computers have memories which have been made or programmed. These programs are written by computer scientists. If a program goes wrong, mistakes occur in the way the computer does its work. So yeah, very explanatory. And then, this is the part I wanted to share with you, we have a very old school map. Now I believe this was printed in the novel edition of Jurassic Park, but correct me if I'm wrong. If this is a new map, then fantastic. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you recognize this map. But there's something very Lord of the Rings-esque about this map. And yeah, obviously it's following the events shown in the novel, not the film. Okay, so it actually says it was published 1995 first. Sorry, so this is a 2005 reprint. So that explains maybe some of the designs of the dinosaurs. But yeah, so this is a 1995 book originally. I'd be interested to track down a 1995 copy. But yeah, a very interesting and unique book, and I thought you guys might appreciate a closer look. So special thanks to Jack for making me aware of this book through stumbling across the PDF online. I think it's a very unique and interesting mixture of the book and the film, and I've never come across it before. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick look at the Macmillan Readers Intermediate Jurassic Park novelization. In the meantime, rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.